Monday, December 18th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including 5 arrested for a Walmart shoplifting in Shelton. Ridgefield's historic fountain takes a hit, and much more. Frank Granito has your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports update. And Donna Lang will join us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Shelton police have made 5 arrests in connection to a Sunday afternoon shoplifting incident at Walmart during which a knife was pulled. Now, on December 17th, police say that 31-year-old Monica Santos, 27-year-old Trisha Donaldson, and 32-year-old Luis Torres, all from Bridgeport, entered the Shelton Walmart on Bridgeport Avenue. They say the 3 shoplifted about $800 worth of merchandise, and upon exiting the store, Walmart employees attempted to stop them, but Santos allegedly pulled a knife on store employees, and then the 3 fled the scene in a green Volkswagen Passat, which was occupied by 30-year-old Juan Torres and 29-year-old Vanessa Torres of Bridgeport. Now, a Shelton patrol officer spotted the vehicle traveling south on Route 8 and stopped it near exit 10 in Trumbull. The 5 were arrested and transported to the Shelton Police Department. Monica Santos was charged with first-degree robbery as well as criminal attempt at 5th-degree larceny and interfering with an officer. Luis Torres was charged with criminal attempt of 5th-degree larceny, and the other 3 suspects were all charged with conspiracy. And a Stamford man has been charged in a fatal accident that occurred downtown last month. The Stamford Advocate reports that Kadeem Mitchell, 20 years old, has been charged with second-degree manslaughter. He was taken into custody Saturday when he was released from medical care. The fatal one-car accident occurred November 22nd on Washington Boulevard. Police say Mitchell was speeding when he lost control and hit a tree on the east side of the roadway. Mitchell and the car's passenger, 19-year-old Dante Smith, also of Stamford, had to be extricated from the car following that wreck. Now, Gallagher said they were both taken to Stamford Hospital, where Smith died from his injuries. Mitchell was processed and released after posting a $5,000 bond and surrendering his passport. He is scheduled to appear in court on December 29th. And in other news, Ridgefield's historic Cass Gilbert fountain was hit with some holiday blemishes this morning, just 1 week before Christmas. Now, a tree service truck that was pulling a chipper struck the Main Street landmark around 8:30 this morning. Now, that crash smashed all the protective flower pots around the fountain's west base, and flying debris shattered one of the panes in the protective cover of the fountain. Now, several decorative Christmas balls were also flung out of the broken window. The fountain itself appears to have very little damage at all, largely thanks to those big pots of dirt that were destroyed. Several of the shrubs were uprooted there. Now, the tree truck was moved off to the First Congressional Church parking lot for police investigation. You can check back to the ridgefieldpress.com for updates. And Monroe firefighters were kept busy early Saturday morning with 2 fire calls on the same road at essentially the same time. At about 7:40 a.m., firefighters were alerted to smoke in a residence at 7 Osborne Lane. While en route, though, only 8 minutes later, dispatchers advised units that they were receiving a 911 call for a report of a structure fire at 70 Osborne Lane, just down the street from that original call. Now, the first units were redirected to the structure fire to find a working fire in the garage. Stepney Fire Department handled the original call at 7 Osborne Lane, which was determined to be a malfunctioning appliance, while Stevenson Volunteer Fire Company helped Monroe firefighters at the other blaze. Now, damage was confined to the garage and no injuries were reported, and the house is currently habitable. And in other news, a New York man crashed a stolen car through a garage door in Southbury, hitting a police cruiser and leading police on a chase Friday night. On December 15th at 8:15, police officers from the Southbury Department responded to Parcells Auto Body for a burglar alarm. Now, Southbury officers arrived on the scene within 1 minute and saw footprints in the snow leading to a large garage bay door that was slightly open. Officers then saw a white work utility van start up with the reverse lights coming on, and then that utility van suddenly smashed through that large garage bay door. The Southbury police officer reversed his vehicle. However, that van crashed into the police SUV before it fled the scene. Now, Southbury officers attempted to stop the van, later learned to be stolen in the business parking lot, but the operator refused to stop and engaged officers in a pursuit traveling Main Street south toward Route 172. Now, debris from that garage door and ladders were falling off of the van as it traveled across Route 172. It eventually crashed crashed into bushes, rolled over multiple times, and crashed into a large tree. Now, officers found that van operator, 35-year-old Eric Fay, sideways across the front seat with some minor injuries. He was extricated from the van by Southbury Fire Department and transported to Waterbury Hospital. Now, upon release from the hospital, Fay of Putnam Valley, New York, was taken into custody in charge of first-degree larceny, assault on a police officer with a motor vehicle, as well as engaging police in pursuit and other charges. And Hearst, Connecticut media reports that all lanes are now open after a jackknife tractor-trailer accident that blocked the southbound lanes of I-95 in Greenwich this morning. Now, state police say a New Jersey truck driver lost control of the vehicle around 7:30 a.m., entered the median, and struck a Jersey barrier. There were no serious injuries, but the truck had some moderate damage. Now, that driver, 56-year-old Anthony Centeno of Camden, New Jersey, was given a ticket for failure to maintain lane and traveling too fast for conditions. Earlier Monday, the National Weather Service posted a winter weather advisory for slippery conditions and light snow and freezing rain. All right, well, taking a turn now, let's get a look at the forecasts with Frank Granito. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies right now. We could see another passing shower or two in the next hour or so before a cloudy afternoon. Temperatures sitting around 41 for the rest of the day, and we'll see them dropping down to 35 overnight with mostly cloudy skies. A little warmer out tomorrow around the county with a mix of sun and clouds during the day. High around 47. Going to be much windier, though. We could see gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. A low of 35 tomorrow night with mostly clear skies. And those clear skies, they'll carry over to Wednesday. We'll see partly sunny skies during the day. Temperatures in the low 40s. Again, clear out overnight, and temperatures start to fall for the back half of the week. A low of 22 Wednesday night. That'll do it for this weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. Donna Lang joins us when we come back for a look back on this day in history. We have more local news, and Frank has your Nutmeg Sports update after this.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. SCAP Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Black Friday sales event. Ends November 30th.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more.
The Kitchen Center offers quality cabinetry and affordable pricing. Visit our showroom for a free consultation with our professional design staff. For all your other home improvement needs, visit Northeast Building Supply, our full-service lumberyard and window showroom. The Kitchen Center, a division of Northeast Building Supply, 1470 Barnum Avenue, Bridgeport.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
Welcome back to this December 18th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Lang to get a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it was one of the earlier attempts at peace through firepower. First, though, we're going to go all the way back to 1865. Secretary of State William Seward proclaimed the adoption of the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, prohibiting slavery throughout the U.S. Now, the amendment has rarely been litigated since its passage, but it was argued as early as 1896 that racial segregation was a vestige of a servile class and therefore unconstitutional. The Supreme Court rejected that argument. Segregation remained the law of the land for another 70 years. 1892 now, the premiere of The Nutcracker by Pyotr Tchaikovsky in St. Petersburg, Russia. That's 12-year-old Stanislava Belenskaya there as Clara on the right. Now, the show was not particularly popular when it premiered, but the 20-minute ballet suite extracted from the show began gaining popularity in the 1960s. Currently in North America, most major ballet companies generate nearly half of their annual revenue through Christmas performances of The Nutcracker. To 1916 now, 101 years ago, the Battle of Verdun ends when German forces are defeated by the French. You see the empty shells there from the artillery. The battle marked the turning point in that Germany was no longer trying to break through the Allied lines, instead focusing on inflicting mass casualties to depopulate the French army. The battle lasted from early February through mid-December. More than 1,000 men would die each day in the 10-month battle. Finally, now we go to 1972, 45 years ago for this.
Sudden, around Christmas time, we hear an arc light operation, B-52s, bum, 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 and it's all around, and it is just exploding, and everyone knew they were B-52s. And it's, in the 2 years that I was there, that was the first time I ever heard a bomb. And it was close. It was really close. It was frightening, but we were still cheering. I mean, we were cheering because something was happening.
Năm đấy tôi 10 tuổi và tôi chứng kiến tất cả những cái chuyện đấy. Tôi chứng kiến cả cái làng nó xơ xác. Không có một cái cây nào có thể còn nguyên vẹn. Ở dưới sông thì cá chết, ở trên bờ thì trâu bò chết và người chết.
Was the two sides of the conflict there, looking back on Operation Linebacker 2, which began on this day in 1972, 45 years ago. The intensive 11-day bombing campaign was intended to force North Vietnam to negotiate a peace settlement. U.S. bombers dropped 17,000 tons of bombs on targets in and around Hanoi over the 11 days. For perspective, you saw the 500-pounders exploding, 68,000 of them, the equivalent of, dropped around Hanoi. Ultimately, though, the campaign did succeed in securing a U.S. exit from Vietnam. That is your look back in history for today, December 18th, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, the new Stratford Town Council will get its first crack at passing a town budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. Now, the newly elected council will host its first special meeting tonight, 7 p.m. at Town Hall. Now, the main order of business will be to consider a $220.3 million spending plan for the current fiscal year. The budget on the agenda is the same as the last one proposed by former Mayor John Harkins. The previous council opted not to vote on it. Now, new council chairman Jim Connor said at Monday's inauguration that passing a budget was the council's first priority. 7 months have passed since the town was supposed to pass a spending plan. The last town council passed 3 budgets, but all were vetoed by Harkins. In the case of the 3 passed plans, 6 members of the council voted for deep cuts on the administrative side. Harkins said all the past plans were not fiscally responsible. And in Easton, a group of Cedar Hill Road residents pressed the police commission to take action on the traffic curve signs installed earlier this year on their street and many other Easton rural roads. Now, resident Leslie Manassi said that up to 24 signs were put on Cedar Hill Road, which is about a half mile in length, and that's more than what is needed on a lightly traveled road. The placement of a few signs are confusing drivers, causing them to enter her driveway by mistake, she told the commission at its recent meeting. She said they think it's part of the road. Now, resident Tony Lyons said that the 2 signs in front of his property are so big that they might as well be billboards. Commission Chairman Richard Colangelo Jr. said the town has told the state to stop the project, but formal action can't be taken until the state officially signs off on the installation work done by the contractor. Now, Police Captain Richard Doyle said the state has been informed the town wants that project to stop. There's a lot more on that story at eastoncourier.com. And Weston State Senator Tony Wong is participating in a food drive for Operation Hope. Now, that drive will take place on Saturday, December 23rd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Saugatuck Suites in Fairfield. Now, for each food donation, the donor's family will receive a free soft-serve ice cream cone. The food drive will benefit those experiencing difficult times throughout the holidays. Operation Hope is a nonprofit organization that provides individuals and families in Fairfield County with shelter and food. You can get more information at operationhopect.org. And the Kennedy Center, a nonprofit agency that serves people with various disabilities, named its Trumbull headquarters after retiring President and CEO Martin Schwartz in a ceremony this morning. The Trumbull Times was there for that. Take a look.
I've said this before, it's been a great tenure. The organization is now 66 years old. and I'm very, very honored to have been a part of it. This organization has helped during its 66 years tens of thousands of people to lead better lives.
Now, when Schwartz began his tenure at the center in 1978, it was a community facility serving about 200 clients with a staff of 48. Today, the Kennedy Center serves more than 2,000 individuals with a variety of disabilities, and it operates 16 group homes and employs more than 750 staff. Schwartz said the dedication was more meaningful to him than anything he could imagine. And there'll be more on that story at TrumbleTimes.com. But let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. And let's take a look back on the weekend as the Connecticut hockey season opened up. A couple of FCIAC teams in action. Let's start with the defending state champion Ridgefield Tigers, who had a tough go about it to start the season, falling at the hands of the Fairfield Prep Jesuits 6-1. The Tigers, not the only school faring poorly against out-of-conference competition. Hamden on top of Darien 6-4 in their season opener. Notre Dame of West Haven tops New Canaan 3-2 as Clark Jones loses his first game as a head coach. Guilford over Trinity Catholic 10-5. Watertown Pomperog Co-op 9-1 victory over Trumbull. Norwalk McMahon picking up an out-of-conference win. They topped Massac 5-2. And the Greenwich Cardinals topping St. Joe's 10-2. in their season opener. Big win for Big Red. We'll have plenty more on all of these games at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. Plus, we'll get you ready for the start of the FCIAC basketball season when Kevin Coleman joins me. For now, though, we go back over to Kate Czaplinski.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
Yeah, Dad.
Kyle, I need you to update the financial statements.
I took care of that yesterday, Dad.
Mac, I need you to get those deals approved.
They're all done, Mr. Miller.
Jeff, I need you to order lunch for the meeting. They can't do a thing without me.
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
I'm never going to retire.
Bankwell combines the best personalized service with high-tech banking features for our customers' convenience. We pride ourselves on being a strong community partner. You don't settle for average in anything else you do. Why settle for an average bank? Don't just bank when you can bank well instead. Visit mybankwell.com for more. Manfredi New Canaan is celebrating 3 exceptional years selling Rolex watches and fine jewelry to the Fairfield County community. We appreciate all our loyal clients and look forward to welcoming and helping you discover the perfect gift to celebrate life's most important occasions.
At Galt, we always put you first. As your full-service home heating partner, we provide expert delivery, installation, and maintenance for all your heating needs with knowledgeable, friendly professionals that give you peace of mind 24/7. Galt Family Companies, you first since 1863. At Galt.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Shelton police have made 5 arrests in connection to a Sunday afternoon shoplifting incident at Walmart, during which a knife was pulled. Now, on December 17th, police say 31-year-old Monica Santos, 27-year-old Trisha Donaldson, and 32-year-old Luis Torres, all from Bridgeport, entered the Shelton Walmart on Bridgeport Avenue. Police say the 3 shoplifted about $800 worth of merchandise, and upon trying to exit the store, Walmart employees attempted to stop them, but Santos allegedly pulled a knife on those employees, and the 3 fled the scene in a green Volkswagen Passat, which was occupied by 30-year-old Juan Torres and 29-year-old Vanessa Torres of Bridgeport. Now, a Shelton patrol officer spotted the vehicle traveling south on Route 8 and stopped it near exit 10 in Trumbull. The 5 were arrested and transported to the Shelton Police Department. Monica Santos was charged with first-degree robbery as well as criminal attempt at 5th-degree larceny and interfering with an officer. Luis Torres was charged with criminal attempt at 5th-degree larceny, and the other 3 suspects were charged with conspiracy. And a Stamford man has been charged in a fatal accident that occurred downtown last month. The Stamford Advocate reports that 20-year-old Kadeem Mitchell has been charged with second-degree manslaughter. He was taken into custody Saturday when he was released for medical care. Now, that fatal one-car accident happened November 22nd on Washington Boulevard. Police say Mitchell was speeding when he lost control and hit a tree on the east side of the roadway. Mitchell and the car's passenger, 19-year-old Dante Smith, also of Stamford, were extricated from that vehicle following the accident. Police said they were both taken to Stamford Hospital, where Smith died from his injuries. Mitchell was processed and released after posting a $5,000 bond and surrendering his passport. Now he's scheduled to appear in court on December 29th. And in other news, Ridgefield's historic Cass Gilbert Fountain was hit with some holiday blemishes this morning, just 1 week before Christmas. A tree service truck that was pulling a chipper struck the Main Street landmark around 8:30 a.m. That crash smashed all the protective flower pots around the fountain's west base, and flying debris shattered one of the panes in the protective cover for the fountain. Now, several decorative Christmas balls were flung out of that broken window, but the fountain itself appeared to have very little damage at all, largely thanks to those big pots of dirt that were destroyed. Now, several of the shrubs were also uprooted there. The tree truck was moved off to the First Congressional Church parking lot for police investigation. You can check back at theridgefieldpress.com for updates. And Monroe firefighters were kept busy early Saturday morning with 2 fire calls on the same road at essentially the same time. Around 7:40 a.m., firefighters were alerted to smoke in the residence at 7 Osborne Lane. Well, while on the way, only 8 minutes later, dispatchers told them that they were receiving a 911 call for a report of a structure fire at 70 Osborne Lane, just down the street from that original call. Well, the first units were redirected to the structure fire to find a working fire in the garage there. Stepney Fire Department handled the original call at 7 Osborne Lane, which was determined to be a malfunctioning appliance, while Stevenson Volunteer Fire Company assisted Monroe firefighters at the other blaze. Damage was confined to the garage and no injuries were reported, and the house was deemed habitable. And in other news, a New York man crashed a stolen car through a garage door in Southbury, hitting a police cruiser and leading police on a chase Friday night. On December 15th, around 8:15, police officers from the Southbury Department responded to Parcells Auto Body for a burglar alarm. Well, when officers arrived on scene, they saw footprints in the snow leading to a large garage bay door that was slightly open. Officers then saw a utility van start up, the reverse lights come on, and that van suddenly smashed through that garage bay door. The Southbury police officer reversed his car. However, the van crashed into that police SUV before fleeing the scene. Now, Southbury officers attempted to stop the van, later learned to be stolen in a business parking lot, but the operator refused to stop and engaged officers in pursuit, traveling Main Street south toward Route 172. Police say debris from that garage door and ladders were falling off of the van as it traveled across Route 172, crashed into bushes, rolled over multiple times, and finally crashed into a tree. Officers found that van operator, 35-year-old Eric Fay, sideways across the front seat with minor injuries. Fay was extricated from the van by the Southbury Fire Department and transported to the hospital. Now, upon release from the hospital, Fay, who's from Putnam Valley, New York, was taken into custody and charged with first-degree larceny, as well as an assault on a police officer with a motor vehicle, engaging police in pursuit, and other charges. All right, taking a turn now, going to throw it back over to Frank Granito for one final look at your forecast. Frank.
All right, thank you again, Kate. And right now, cloudy skies, temperatures sitting in the low 40s. That's what we're going to see for most of the afternoon. Maybe one more passing shower before the late afternoon. Partly cloudy overnight and a low of 35. A little warmer tomorrow, temperatures in the upper 40s, wind gusts around 30 miles per hour, a mix of sun and clouds during the day. Partly cloudy overnight with temperatures in the mid-30s, around 35 before Wednesday morning. Wednesday, partly sunny skies, a little cooler with temperatures in the high 30s. It's going to get colder overnight, though. Clear skies and a low of 22 as we head for the back half of the week. That'll do for the weather. We're back at 2 for Nutmeg Sports. For now, though, we go over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but we'll see you tomorrow at 11 with the latest local news and more. Have a great day.